Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2025. I hope you're safe and healthy today and warm. And that your family safe and healthy today and warm. Kind of cold this morning in Florida. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders who every day are out here trying their best to save lives. Blessings upon those also that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are helping those that are victims of pornography and child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators of these things. Double curses on those who profit from these things. And double curses on the perverts that create the demand that cause these things to exist. Double blessings on the homeless. More than 600,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, homeless in the United States of America. And millions around the world in even worse conditions. Blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. So, there was a basketball game last night in Madison Square Garden. The New York Knicks defeated the Chicago Bulls in an ugly game, 113 to 111. Knicks were missing both OG Anunoby and Josh Hart, and they were also without Mitchell Robinson. But Precious Achiuwa and Deuce McBride stepped up, showed up, and showed out. And the Knicks ended up winning a close one. It was a very close game. Both teams shot the ball horribly, matter of fact. But they started catching on at the end. And in the beginning, the Knicks were getting to the line very frequently. It wasn't even, I think, the second half when the Bulls took their first free throws. But at the end of the day, the Bulls took 12 free throws, the Knicks took 10, so it evened out at the end. The Knicks out-rebounded them, although it was pretty much even, 54-53. The Knicks had 28 assists. They had 10 steals, including 3 from Deuce McBride, 7 blocks, including 3 from Deuce McBride. They only had 13 turnovers, a slightly higher than we know. It started off, Chicago was getting everything in the paint, but then the Knicks ended up winning the battle of the paint 48-40. So it ended up, being the Knicks' W. Again, they stepped in. It wasn't the most prettiest or smoothest of wins, but it was a W. We'll take it. We're now tonight, big game against Cleveland. We'll get to that in a second. But the Knicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in double figures, led by Karl-Anthony Towns, 32 points, 18 boards, 16 defensive rebounds. Mikal Bridges, now that was an interesting dynamic, Mikal last night. Biggest block of the season to me, he made last night. Biggest block of the season. At the close of regulation, at the rim, he stops Vucevic at the rim. He stops Vucevic from getting a layup at the rim. Nikola Vucevic at the rim, and could have just dunked the ball at 6'11", not with long arms, not with Spectre Gadget arms on Mikal. But that being said, and Mikal ended up with 13 points. I think he ended up with 13. And he had 10 boards, too. He had 10 boards, 5 assists. Ended up being a good game, obviously. He shot the ball terribly, though, 6 of 16. And he was really stinking up the joint in the first quarter. He was missing layups. He was getting beat defensively. He was having me frustrated. But then he finally woke up in the second half and started hitting that patented mid-range game that he has. He started scoring off of that. And so he woke up, and, of course, again, the biggest block of the game, probably the biggest block of the season, was that block on Nikola Vucevic at the end of regulation. Big time block. So he ended up redeeming himself. And then, of course, there was Deuce McBride. Deuce McBride, from the beginning of the game, was showing everybody why the Knicks drafted him out of West Virginia and why he's in the rotation and why he will remain in the rotation. And again, how stupid do people look talking about Tyler Kolek now? Where are all them people? Tyler Cole's going to force Deuce out of the rotation. Where are all them people? Tyler Cole's going to come to John Stockton. And Deuce is odd man out. Where are they? He was showing everybody why he's the man. Okay? And lockdown defense on anybody he was guarding. knocking down 5 threes, 6 boards. Even he was hitting the offensive boards. He got 3 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 blocks. Tremendous game from Deuce last night as the Knicks needed it. And even like Landry Shamet hit 2 threes last night. He played 17 minutes. Cameron Payne wasn't as effective offensively. You look at if you're just looking at box scores, you're not going to know that Cameron Payne played some really good defense yesterday. Some really good defense. And then there was Hukporti. Again, if you're looking at the box score, you're going to see 2 points and 5 boards for Ariel Hukporti. But I'm going to tell you, he played a lot better than that. The thing is, what I love the best, and I'm sure, I'm not saying I'm sure because I can't speak for everybody, but I'm confident that most people didn't notice the biggest area of the game that he affected. And it wasn't the rebounding, although the rebounding was excellent. What I loved about Hukporti, what he did very well last night, is he would guard his man and he would double team and get back to his man with speed. That, to me, was key. The defensive stops that he caused by just being able to do that, not that it's easy. That's what McBride brings to the table. But he was able to show double team and get back to his man. He was able to guard his man and stop pick and roll. That is what the 5 is supposed to do for the Knicks. I know everybody been pining for a 3-point shooting 5. That's not what wins championships. What Hukporti did last night, that wins championships. That's what wins playoffs. And Hukporti had what? He had 3 personals, but I'm going to tell you, 2 of them personals. There is such a thing in the NBA as refs calling fouls on a guy because he's a rookie, but wouldn't call the same foul on a vet. It happened at least twice last night. One time he defended, who was it? It was this guy, Wright, I think it was. Let me see here. It was Phillips. I think it was Phillips. Was going up and he defended him perfectly at the rim. And they called the foul. And there was no foul there. And then another time they were scrambling for the ball. And it was not just him, it was 3 or 4 players. And somehow he got the foul call. A couple of times I was like, no, that's not foul. But he's a rookie. That's why they did it. But he was very active. That's the key. Very active, very high energy. And he was getting from point A to point B with very good quickness and speed to get from point A to point B with his length. That's what's going to make him a keeper. See, it's not anything else but that. And then he was rebounding the basketball. He was rebounding the ball very well last night. So he's a rookie, but for now, I'm feeling like you got Karl-Anthony Towns. You got Mitchell Robinson, who should be the second string center going forward, not just this year, all the way through. Then you got Precious Achiuwa, who last night, if the last play of the game was what we were talking about with Precious yesterday. He started that play guarding Vucevic. Then he switched and was guarding Kobe White. Now, Vucevic is a 5, Kobe White's a 1. And he guarded both of them, okay? He was all over both of them. And that's what we're saying. You have a guy here that can score, that can rebound, that can handle the ball, and can guard 1 through 5. Okay? That's very, very rare in the NBA and very special when you get something like that. So he can guard 1 through 5, the 7-foot wingspan he used multiple times to make stops. And the rebounds, he got 9 boards, and oftentimes it was in the crowd. You know, Precious was getting, that's what Josh Hart does. Precious, of course, is almost 6'9". He's 6'8", 6'9". And he was doing the same thing, getting boards in crowd, man, and being able to move the ball up the floor on his dribble and being able to shoot. He was 5 of 11 last night. He scored 11 points. He hit 1 3. And the thing is that's exciting me about him, as I've been mentioning, is he's got upside. In other words, when I say he's got upside, he's got a lot of room to get a lot better. And the thing is, he's going to do it. He's going to work really hard to get better. That's the exciting thing. I hope the Knicks could re-sign him. He's going to be a key piece coming down the stretch of this season. Key piece. See, no OG last night, but that's okay. We had Precious, okay? No Hart, that's okay. We had Deuce. And anybody talking about the depth of the Knicks, lack of depth, it's BS and don't know what they're talking about. Maybe there was a lack of depth for a game they lost. But when they have their crew together, there's very few teams that are as deep as the New York Knicks. Very few. When they talk about the full contingent now. Okay? So you're talking about a Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride, Josh Hart, or Precious bench with Shamet and Payne. Very few teams as deep as the Knicks. Okay? So now I'm thinking tonight you get a few minutes of Mitchell Robinson. Not a lot. It's not going to be a 30 minutes or 20 minutes. You probably get 10 minutes of Mitchell Robinson. 10, 12 minutes of Mitchell Robinson. That's plenty good for the start. We'll take that to get started, right? And then you might get some more Hukporti. Hukporti last night played 17 minutes. I can see him getting a good 10 or 12 tonight against Cleveland. And again, he's got the fresh legs, the young legs, the activeness. Very, he's going to be all right. I like him. He's a keeper. And even when he needed defense last night, Tibbs put DeLon Wright in the game, who's a defensive player. This is good. All of this was very good last night. I saw a lot of good stuff. And McBride played 42 minutes. Cat played 43. Bridges played 44. Precious played 46. Let me tell you something. They're all going to be ready to play tonight. Second night of back-to-back. Last night, they were getting the cobwebs out. Tonight, they'll be warmed up. They'll be ready to go. The only one that's going to be getting the cobwebs out is OG and Mitchell Robinson. Okay? Which I believe the Knicks sat both of them last night. Had an excuse to do it now because they were both hurt. But I think they just rested and to get ready for tonight on the second night of back-to-back against a key rival in Cleveland, right? So it's going to be on tonight. Now, I'm not going to see the game live, but I will for sure get it recorded, and I will be watching it tomorrow night. But this is going to be a good game. So the Knicks end up now 37-18. Very good. They're in good shape. Solidly third in the East, again, behind the two main rivals, Cleveland and Boston. Boston is balling too. They won 4 straight. Cleveland has won 5 straight. The Knicks have won 3 straight. By the way, this is the fifth time this season that the Knicks have won 3 straight. The 5th time. Okay? I remember there was years when if you got the Knicks to win 2 straight, that was a big thing for once, the whole season. But here, they won 3 straight at least 5 times. Okay, and we know they had longer streaks than that. They had a 9-game winning streak, and I think it was a 6 or 7-game winning streak. So the Knicks are ready to ball. Now, this is the thing. Again, I just want to stress, this team is just coming together this year. Okay, this is the first year they're together, and if we could get right now, I would say, okay, let me put it this way: it's possible. And we're rooting for the Knicks could go all the way. It's possible. Okay, I'm not saying it's not, because you got to have the ball bounce your way. Any team, even Oklahoma City, who I consider Oklahoma City, Cleveland, and Boston the class of the league right now. Those 3 teams. But even those 3 teams, you got to have the ball bounce your way. You got to have a couple of breaks. It ain't just pure, I'm going to steam through the league. Not with all the parity that's in the league right now. But they're the class, and the Knicks, it could possibly bounce the Knicks' way at the end. Put it this way, we can be in the conversation for the finals. Okay, that's it. This is the thing. And for me right now, that's really good. Like I said, if the Knicks get to the Eastern Conference Finals is a successful season. I don't want to hear no whining, no complaining about nothing. About Tibbs, nobody. If they get to the Eastern Conference Finals this year, that's success. And if they get to the finals, please. That's huge success. This is the first year that these guys have been together. That's what I'm saying. And I'm going to put it off at the past. Some of y'all going to forget because you can't help yourself. But forget all the drama trades. They're already coming out with, let's go get Giannis BS. Stop it. Be good. You don't want to break this team up. You want to keep the team the same. You want to keep the team the continuity. Forget Giannis. Forget the pipe dream. And I mean pipe dream. So we good. This summer, forget all that. The focus this summer, let's get Precious back up in here. Let's extend Deuce. That's not until December, but extend him. Let's get McCall extended. Those are the priorities. Keeping the team intact is the priority. Imagine coming back next September with this same team and everybody healthy. Okay? Coming back with the same team and starting the season. They are all now acclimated. They're all in the culture. They all understand what they got to do. They all understand their roles, and everybody's healthy. That's what I'm saying. So that's the focus. Right now, we're just getting back to healthy. We're getting our full contingent back with Mitchell Robinson rejoining the crew, and the NBA going to have a problem. And really, Mitchell Robinson is the key here. It's really, I know people say OG, and I know Perk said OG, and I hear him. OG is very important now. I ain't gonna front. But if Mitchell Robinson gets his stride and gets on his game, like we know like he did against Cleveland 2 years ago, or against Philly and Embiid last year, the Knicks gonna be a real threat. That's what I'm saying. Anything could happen. The Knicks could make it to the finals, and the Knicks could win the whole thing. It's possible. I'm not saying it's likely. It's definitely, nobody should laugh at you saying the Knicks can make the finals. Put it that way. Anybody laughing at the Knicks possibility of making finals don't know basketball. They are good enough to do that. Right now, though, I will take Eastern Conference Finals as a very successful season. I'm still sticking with 55 wins, second in the East. Somebody losing a spot. I'm still sticking with that. Even if they end up third in the East, that's fine. But they could get to the finals. They can't. The ball got to bounce their way a little bit, but again, that has to happen with every team. Put it this way. The Toronto Raptors officially have been world champions, right? Officially, the Toronto Raptors have been world champions. But if that ball bounced off the rim when Kawhi Leonard shot from the corner falling away, history might have been different, right? Just that one shot, the ball bounced their way. It can happen to anybody, okay? LeBron James brought a championship to Cleveland. But if he doesn't get that huge block against Andre Iguodala in Oakland, it's different. Okay? So the ball you got to have a key play. Something's got to come. And if Kyrie doesn't hit that big three, it's a different thing, right? So you got to have breaks, I guess is what I'm saying, to go your way in order to win the whole thing. You got the best teams. It's clear. Cleveland, Boston, and Oklahoma City are the class of the league right now. But that don't mean they're going to go all the way. Okay? They have the best chance. Okay? But anything can happen. So, yeah, the Knicks got a shot. They got a shot. And they can definitely get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They definitely can. Mitchell Robinson is the key. If he comes back and plays the way Mitchell Robinson can play, which I'm excited because I believe he can, especially coming off the Knicks bench. I'm liking what I'm seeing. So let's get this Cleveland thing tonight. We still not all the way back yet. Our dog's still a little bit limping, but hey, let's get this going to Cleveland and do our thing, see what we can get. And then we got Boston on Sunday. But Cleveland right now, let's focus on this. Let's get Mitchell Robinson 10 minutes tonight. Everybody else come ready to ball. OG, come ready to ball. Let's do our thing. Y'all enjoy the game. I'll see you tomorrow night. Those of you who keep Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Enjoy your weekend. Shalom.